Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over in Nonthaburi. We're in the greater Bangkok area, but we're across the river over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at one of my favorite temples in this area. It's a really cool Mon temple that was originally started in like 1682, and then I think they finished building it in like 1757 or so. But it has two really cool historic buildings, the Ubosot and the Wehan, with some really nice murals and a couple Sukhothai style images. And it also has what they say is the most beautiful scene of the goddess of the earth wringing her hair to cause earthquakes and floods to kill demons. Anyway, let's walk through here and I'll tell you a little bit about this temple and we'll just kind of enjoy this. This is the first thing you see when you come into this temple. Now this is a Mon style chedi. You can tell by the styling how it's kind of long and sleek. It's not built in like a bell shape that you see with the Sri Lankan style that you see at most of the Thai temples. This chedi was built in 1917. And then you have the new ordination hall that's right there. We'll look at it after we look at these old halls right over here. And this is the old original Ubosot. And then you have a moondrop in the back there that has a Buddha footprint. And then they built a whole bunch of new stuff over here. There's a humongous new building over here. They're building some things over right between here and there. You have places here for meetings. Then they have a museum that they generally keep it locked up, but like school kids that come over here can go in it. And then they have some meeting halls over here. This place has really grown in the years that I've been coming to this temple. And this is kind of interesting. So you have some ashes of some people. And then you can see they have kind of a column with like that mythical bird up at the top. And then they have some flowers and the pictures of the people, stuff like that. And then over here is what we wanted to really look at. This is the best part of the temple to me. And this is what I like to see here. So this is the gate that goes into the new ordination hall. And you see the styling up there, the Garuda, all the Naga, everything else. And then it's the three-tier roof. That is the new hall that does the exact same function as this right here. And this is the Ayutthaya era. And you can see, like, this is such a great contrast of the evolution of Thai temple buildings. But I mean, it's just a little tiny postage stamp, but you see it still has the Buasima stones and all of that right here, has the chedis. And then this is the new one. It has all the Buasima stones right here in these big corner ones. And you just see the different styling, all that like really ornate over the top styling. Well, the Ayutthaya era was so much more subdued, and it has a small little slanted porch, and then this has the floral patterns and stuff up here with the plates. That was a lot of the Chinese influence that came in. They had those little porcelain like pieces and plates and bowls and everything, and they would put them into the gable of the temples. And this right here, they have it roped off. That's the old glass wall. They don't want you walking on the old perimeter wall. And then they have a couple of the little chedis that are still here. Oh, what a fantastic temple this is. And you can see they have restored the little Buasima stone right there. And they've done a little bit of work to kind of keep that in its original condition. It gets so weathered in the tropics here. I mean, the whole wall is basically gone. So you know that they've had to do quite a bit of work. So this has 3 windows, and then that's the little tiny Wehan right behind, and we'll take a look at it next. Yeah, it's great. It has the little slanted porch, got some pigeons up there. All right, so let's stick our heads in here. And so you can see the floral patterns around, and then the style up there. So that's like the Ruku up top. It's the monster that ate the world. Then you have the angel that's praying right there. And of course it has the high threshold but it's not super high because this has been built up over the centuries here. And then this is the inside of this hall. Okay, so the image here is a Sukhothai Buddha. You can see like the egg face with the eyes downcast. And you can see the ceiling is still painted. You can see where the water's got in there. And then you can see how these have faded off. Now these will have the like 10 scenes of the Jataka here. And what's really cool is to let you know how this is Ayutthaya style. Is you see this jagged line that goes across here, and there would have been another one going right up here. And that separates different panels. So there's different stories on each one of these. So you got a guy here, they're fighting, another guy doing some stuff. And then this is the most important mural in this hall. So that's the goddess of the earth. You see how she's wringing her hair and she's flooding the world. You see the monsters and demons and stuff here. And it's really, really faded. And then you have the Buddha sitting right there. And then over here's a nice example of another panel with the jagged line. And it's super, super faded up there. Well, you can see the detail here. They used the red, so you see there's no blues in here. That's because they didn't use the blue, that blue pigment in the Ayutthaya. So they used more of the earth tones. And you can see how it's flaked off right here. And down at the bottom, any murals are completely gone from down there because that groundwater comes up and destroys them. But that's fantastic. And even the cross beams are so weathered. And the windows and are like right there. It has the red teak wood. They're just plain window shutters, and there's 3 of them across. And the walls actually bow in at the top, so it's wider at the base than it is at the top. Okay, so let's walk in and let's look in that little wehan now. Yeah, so on the outside, you really can see how bowed in it is from the base. It's really a fantastic building. I love seeing surviving temples like this where they haven't gutted them or completely just replaced them. It's a little bit of the history of the region. You can see the little naga there, the floral pattern, and then you can see in at the Buddha. Okay, so this is the little tiny wehan. And you see the different styling of it. It doesn't have a porch, but it still has like the little floral patterns and stuff like that up here. Oh, it's really great. And then the styling above the door. This doesn't have the Buasima stones because it serves a different function. The Buasima stones mark the boundary of the monks' influence into the world, and that's where all the new monks are ordained in there. Let's check this out though. So you can see where they've restored the building. They've painted it, but they've kept all this original, and those look like European figures right there amongst all the little flowers and everything. And this will be another simple little hall. And then here's the 2 images in here. So this front one has like the royal regalia with the crown and everything, and then another little Sukhothai image. And then you can see there's more murals in here, and this wall is just so bowed inside. This is really, really quite cool. But you can see how bad this is starting to flake off here. The tropics are just brutal on it, and you can see how it's the brick and mortar construction. And then these murals here are in really, really poor shape compared to that other building. Yeah, so you can see the murals here. It's really spectacular. Yeah, these are just really plain buildings, but to me, they're better than seeing a new fancy temple. The history of like this part of the world goes through the temples, because they would make them out of brick and stone, while the houses and everything else are made out of wood, and the termites and the jungle just destroys the wood. So the brick buildings are basically all that's left after a couple generations. And so it's got the figures up there on the top and on the sides. So that's the ordination hall. And then this is the little Wihan, or the preaching hall. Okay, so let's go look really quick into this moon drop. There's a Buddha footprint in there. You can see more of the styling over the windows and everything. All right, so you see the little naga that goes up on both sides here. I was over here a few years ago when they were restoring this. It was really interesting to see inside. And at this temple also, they do like a honey donation ceremony. I think it's in October. The honey, the Mons used it as a traditional medicine. So people that are in this area are Mon descent, so they donate honey to the temple. And you see the Mon style lions here. All right, so this is the moon drop. And check out the little pagoda inside. Yeah, I was watching them build this. And it's all done, and it's where you can come in. And then this is what the important relic is. You can see the Buddha footprint right there. There's a little bit of a glare on that plexiglass. But you can see the prayer wheel, or the wheel of law, right there. And then the inside, really cool wooden doors, marble. And you can see the styling here. Yeah, really, really nice. Now what you can see here, this darker colored wood is the old original wood. And you can see where the craftsman has came in and completely restored all the little tiny pieces. So he's carved stuff like the top of the little pagodas, all of that. And then down here, this is all new, but he still incorporated some of the old pieces in it. And then the whole base is pretty much the old. Well, that's really a nice little bit of craftsmanship there. All right, there's the new hall. And it's quite massive compared to the old. And this does have a lower level down below. And then over here are like gardens and stuff like that, little shrines built all out through the trees here. Yeah, you can see all the shrines, the Bodhi trees, everything that's out here. Yeah, this is a really nice temple. Yeah, there's a lot of Mons that settled in this area over the years. The Burmese and the Thais used to always fight. There would be Mon allies that were allied with, the Ayutthaya kingdom. And so they would escape and settle over here to avoid persecution back in modern-day Myanmar. Okay, so we'll go in the front door here. So you're greeted with this standing Buddha image. And then down below there, they have those little stones. That's what the Buasima stones below them are, those little balls. All right, so right away you're greeted with super high, like a super high roof line. You can see there's a little tree growing there at the foot of the Garuda. It has the angels, the other Buddha imagery all around. And then this is so much more ornate than, all right, so this is the modern hall. And it looks like they're doing a little bit of renovation here. You can see they got the bamboo scaffolding up there. And they stuck the monk robes in between there to keep it from damaging the walls. So you see here, here's all the scenes of the Jataka. It's the Buddha's life, the preaching, getting enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, everything else. Now we saw this scene in that first hall, but this is a modern version of that exact same scene. So you see the goddess of the earth wringing her hair, and then you see all the monsters down here, the demons getting flooded. And then you have the Buddha underneath the Bodhi tree. And then you can see the doors, the styling here. So they incorporated the little pieces of glass that they put back behind there. And then some more of the scenes over on this side. Yeah, this building is beautiful, but I prefer that little tiny old one. I mean, it's very, very cool, both of them. But I just like the history of that old Ubasot and Wehan. And then we have a statue of the goddess of the earth right there. And then all their little relics and stuff, and then like an old image right there for the shrine. And that one there doesn't have a top knot on it. Let's take a quick look underneath here. So this is a low roof here. So you come in, these are the Buasima stones, and there's one underneath the main Buddha image, and then they have a series of little shrines and stuff. So you got to duck down to walk through here. They have a Buddha footprint here, and then they have all the figures of all the old monks. And this is the Buasima that's right underneath the main image here. And it'll be larger than the ones and the small ones. And then you have the little forest hermit guy. He's not a Buddhist, but he could do like magic, I guess. And then we have some other figures over there. And then places to donate to the temples. Over here, all the days of the week Buddhists, and then the little alms bowls for the donations. You can see how low the entryway is. Another little shrine with some of the old monks. And then one of the old boats. Now in the old days, the monks would go out on the river and the canals, and they would get the alms donations in the boats. Now with cars, people drive up to the temples and donate here, but it's still traditional the way they did it. And we have a little shrine here with the goddess of the earth, and more of the temple buildings all through there. And they're building some new stuff over here also. Check out that tree. It's kind of interesting. The roots are all gnarled around. And then we got more stuff here. That's a really nice little marble Buddha. Looks like they're going to build a building over the top of it. You can see the roof tiles and stuff here. And then more shrines over this way. And then they're building the new building right here. They got the forms they're building. You got the rebar sticking out. And got the guy, he's supervising here. And this is an active temple, so you'll see quite a few monks here at this temple also. Kind of a cool bell tower. All right, so the other building is right up this way, and there's just shrines every which direction here. There's another building there with more. All right, so we're over here. This is the newest building they've built. Looks like they're setting up for some kind of ceremony. Oh, this is pretty cool. So you got the Garuda here, and then they got a place to donate to the temple. Let's go inside. Looks like we got chairs everywhere, but we'll take a peek if we can. We got some more of the little Burmese style lions here, the Mons. And like I said though, this is a Mon settlement. And if you go out to Kokret, that's also a large Mon community that's settled here. Buddha image in here. This is a really pretty white marble. And then you can see they have a little shrine, and all the ladies are setting up here to do some of the flower stuff. They got jackfruit, bananas, and the monks are over there, so they'll give out the blessings and stuff. Okay, so what they're doing is they're setting up for the Khatan ceremony tomorrow. So there'll be a big event here at this temple for the Buddhist holiday. And then at 5 o'clock today, they're going to do a ceremony to get everything started. So that's why all the chairs are here. And then you can see all the people that have donated robes and everything else for this temple. Well, that'll finish up our video over here at this Wat Chomphuwek. This is a fantastic temple. I really, really like it. I've been here many times, and I forgot all about the honey donation ceremony this year in October. That's something I do try to come over here and see every year. But maybe next year, if I can pencil it in my calendar to where I don't forget. It's something to see also. It's really a fun little event here at this temple. This is the best Mon temple in Nonthaburi, and it's not too difficult. If you came over here, you could hire a taxi and get over here. There are a few tourists that come over here and check it out just because it's a really historic temple here in Nonthaburi. I would definitely recommend if you have some free time and you want to see something that's a little bit different and you're going to be away from the big crowds and stuff, you'll be over here with the locals. I would say come over here and check this out if you can. Definitely something I enjoy coming to, so you would also. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and you get to see more stuff like this. And if you've been here, have any questions or comments, let me know down below. I'll do my best to answer them, or I'd like to hear your feedback of what you thought of this temple. I really like the contrast between the old and the new here. So anyway, from over here at Wat Chomphuwek, Wek, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.